Hey, welcome back to Mantic String Works. So today we have part 2 of the Sterling Musicman 5-string bass, Stingray. And we're going to try and straighten up this neck. So if you remember, we had an issue where the truss rod just couldn't bend the neck anymore. And I think we're going to have to mechanically help it. So I've set up something here on the bench, if we want to have a look at it. So I've got clamp down here at the headstock. I've got a caul placed here right around the 12th fret, and I've got another clamp here holding down the bass neck. Of course, there's our truss rod wheel right here. So the idea is I'm going to apply pressure at the clamp, and I'll probably push down first, and that's going to put the neck in a back bow. So we want it in a pretty extreme back bow. Once it's in that back bow position, you can tighten the truss rod all the way, so all the way clockwise. Then I'm going to put this aluminum foil on top, and that's a tip from a viewer who watched my last video where I used this process. And this is a bag full of rice, uncooked rice. That was a question I had. Cooked or uncooked? Uncooked rice, so dry rice. That I'm going to heat up to about 200 degrees in the microwave. So we're going to put the aluminum foil on top of the neck. We're going to put the hot rice bag on top of that. And then we're going to put this blanket on top of all that. Then we're going to let this sit. We're going to let it cook until it cools right down. And the idea is that it's warm enough to soften the glue between the fretboard and the neck, and it will then harden as it cools in this back bow position. That's the theory. It's worked before quite a few times that I've done it, and I've had viewers send me comments about it as well. So we'll try it again, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 attempts to get the neck to stay. So wish me luck. Alright, I'll set up the camera so we can watch this process together. Alright, so let's get set up for this. Always try and prep ahead of time, of course. So I've got my aluminum foil ready. I've cut out a spot for the caul. I'm going to heat up the rice bag. But we need to get this neck first into that back bow position. So right now, yeah, it's in an up bow and there's space under there. I take my 22 thousandths here. Let's check that. Yeah, that doesn't fit under there. So there's probably about, I would say, yeah, see the 10 just gets under there. So it's about 10, 12 thousandths right now, and that's because I have a little pressure on the clamp. So what we want to do is apply pressure on the clamp slowly, and you can also help it. Now make sure your clamp down here is good and tight. I'm going to push down a little bit while I do this, just to help that clamp. I've got a leather caul under there as well, so we're not going to damage. Alright, so we've tightened down the neck here, created a back bow. I'll demonstrate that. Look at that. So that's a pretty significant back bow, and it's right where I want it too. Right there around the 9th fret, sort of in the middle of the fretboard. Okay. So now I'm going to take this aluminum foil. And again, this was a tip from a viewer who tried this method on their guitar and it worked successfully a couple of times. So they did that, so sure, why not? Maybe that transfers the heat a little better. So the next step here is to take this rice bag, heat it up in the microwave to about 200 degrees. Let me go do that and I'll come back and we'll place it on there. Okay, I've got this rice bag back and was able to heat it up after about 2.5 to 3 minutes to just under 200 degrees. So I've got a digital thermometer, checking that out. So we can't forget that the whole goal here is to tighten this truss rod. So I want to tighten this up all the way until it doesn't turn anymore. That's good. Okay, that's good and tight. Yeah, we're at 190. So 190 degrees. So it's pretty good for a bag of rice. Just lay that down here. Try and spread it out evenly. Oosh, it's hot. Lay it down. Okay. I think that aluminum foil is actually going to transfer that heat nicely. Okay, then I'm going to take a towel. Just going to lay it on top. And we're going to let this cook. So I've done this a few times before, no issues. You do want to watch, once you're done, make sure that the frets haven't come loose. They could come loose. That hasn't happened to me yet, but they could come loose. Check for a delamination of the fretboard and the neck. Again, that hasn't happened with me yet. And I wouldn't do this on a guitar that had a really glossy lacquer finish or polyurethane finish on the fretboard. This is a matte, almost non-existent finish, satin finish, or a natural rosewood, something like that works well. So again, all I'm going to do is let this sit. So this will take, I'll let it sit here for a few hours till it's completely cool, and then we'll check it out. Okay, well, it's been about 4 hours. So let's unwrap our neck. So there's our blanket. Here's our rice bag, which is cold, room temp. And here's our aluminum foil. Check the neck. Yeah. Nothing looks like it's lifted or anything. Okay, so we should still obviously be in a back bow because that's how we clamped it. So if we release the pressure, now it's not going to hold it completely where it is right now, at least I don't expect it to, but we should still have a back bow once we release this clamp here. That's what I'm doing. Let's see what we got. Okay, moment of truth. Yeah. Now, we did not have a back bow previously, of course, and I'm going to say that's probably good enough. When there's some string tension, and I'll simulate that, I'll pull up the neck a little bit. You know, that's probably going to sit up pretty flat. Okay, well, I would call that initial round a success. But I think what I'll do, and just with past experience, I'm going to do this again. Okay, we're going to run this through the heat treatment one more time. And so I'm going to help the clamp a little bit here. Push down on the neck. We should get that back bow position. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I've got to heat up our rice bag, and we'll do this all over again. Alright, so we're back. This is the next day. Heated up the neck, let it cool, take the blanket off. Here's the rice bag. Aluminum foil. Everything looks good. So we're going to release the clamping pressure. And we're hoping to have a back bowl. Let's check it out. Oh yeah. So we still have a significant back bow here. So that's a good sign. So we're going to do it here. Whoop. I'm going to drop that. So the next step is to route out or shape the body. so that we can fit the wheel in there without it rubbing against the edge of the body and the pickguard. Alright, so let's bring the body over here on the big workbench. And the screws out of the way. Okay. So what we need to do is route out this little part of the body here. Now that's going to be covered by the pickguard, right? So you're not really going to see that, but we still want it to be, relatively clean. And I can see that the pickguard overhangs that route on the edges here, and it's pretty much flush with the body here at the front. So really we just need to route out, take some out of there. I was hoping not to take everything apart. And I've got an idea here. Instead of using a router, I think I'll just use a Dremel tool, the sander, and bring that back a little bit, because we're not going to see this part of the body under the pickguard. Of course, we can always put a little paint, touch-up paint, or something on there as well. Alright, let me see what tools we've got. Okay, well, I decided that I'm going to use this Dremel tool here, and it's got an abrasive little sanding wheel on it. And I'm just going to sand away the material here at the back end of this body route. And again, this is going to be covered by the pickguard, so you're not going to see anything, but I will touch that up. So we're just going to take off, not a lot, I would say about 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is use some tape here just to mark off about how much I want to take away. Like I said, it's not much. Maybe 1/8 of an inch. I'll just mark around here just so, in case anything decides to slip on me. But yeah, just in there. And I don't mind using a pencil here, and I'll just make, again, it doesn't have to be the full width, but just give me some guides like that. So there is a bit of a round, so it rounds over in the corners here, right? So I sort of want to keep that. I just want to do the flats. This will be the tool right here, so alright, this could get loud. Alright, aside from a little bit of dust, that seems to have worked. Clean that up a little bit. Get the rest of that dust out. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is take the neck, and I'm just going to sit it in there and just double check that we took enough off. Oh, that's perfect now. Now we're not touching, so that's really good. Alright, I just wanted to bring you in closer, and you can see there's lots of room now for that wheel to turn. So the only thing I'm concerned about now, and I'm probably going to have to route out a little bit, is the pickguard. And you can see it's still touching. So I need to take that pickguard back just a little bit as well. And for that, probably use some files, just some hand files. So just using some hand files here, some very small ones, some rounded ones, flat. I'm just going to get in here and start taking away some of the material on the pickguard. I don't have to take away much. I'm going to do the flat, and I'll do a little bit of the corner with the round file. I also have to take away from the sides here. They were preventing the truss rod wheel from actually seating in there properly. So I'll take a little bit off each side. Come in here with the round file in the corners. And then what I'll do is just test fit every little bit to see how it's doing. So I can see that I've already filed away enough from the end, but the sides are still catching in there. So I think I'll take a little more away from the sides. Maybe a little more from the front edge as well. Okay, well, I'll keep doing this for a bit until it fits nicely, and then we'll check it out. Alright, so I'm just going to check here with a feeler gauge. Yeah, there's no way that was fitting in there before. Alright, so that's good. Okay, well, I'm going to put the neck back on the pickguard, and we'll get it strung up and see how she plays. Okay, we're all strung up, we're all tuned up. Excuse me, I had to lower the action to 5/64. So using a string action gauge here, which you can pick up on my shop, www.manticstringworks.com. So at the 17th fret, set up just around 5/64 on all the strings, that's good. I'm going to put a capo on the first fret, and I like to see 10 to 12 thousandths, so we'll start with a 10 thousandths feeler gauge at the 7th fret, hold down, at the last fret here, and I'm going to use the E string. I think you can just hear that, eh? It's just touching, so that's very good relief. It's perfect actually. And I just tested the truss rod here a bit. There's still room to tighten it. It's tight to turn, but it turns. And then obviously we can loosen it, so that's a good thing. So I'm going to say, I'm going to do the intonation. I'll check the nut action on this bass, but for now, we'll call this video done. So this neck has been straightened up a little bit. The truss rod is usable now, because we can turn the wheel. We've relieved the body route, also taken back a little bit of the pick guard, so now that truss rod wheel will spin okay. And I think this bass, with a little tweaking, the nut action's a little high it seems, so I think we'll tweak that a little bit, set the intonation up, and this bass will be ready to rock. So thanks again for watching. Please leave your comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe and share these videos if you can with your friends. And we'll see you in the next one. Okay? Bye for now.